Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 1 emulation with scePSX, which is meant to be a lightweight PS1 emulator. It's still fairly new and just got an update to version 0.1.0. Now, although the changelog is in Chinese, one of the features here is the emulator is now available in English. So taking a look at Google Translate on the changelog, and they say less CPU usage, more accurate simulation, support images in .img format, and built-in Chinese and English interface. Now, although the changelog is in Chinese, I do have Google Translate, and it might not be 100% accurate, but I think it gives a very good picture of this update. So they say less CPU usage, more accurate simulation, support images in .img format, and built-in Chinese and English interface. It seems that this emulator is now available in English. And at the very bottom there, it says this test can run smoothly at 60 frames per second on a Celeron i3-3215U. For full transparency, I have not tested out this emulator yet, but if you have, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Next up here, we're talking about a game that is headed to Kickstarter that resembles a few other games. If you're a fan of Pokemon, you may be a fan of Monsterpatch. This one is headed to Kickstarter on March 25th. Unfortunately, at this point in time, I don't know what the pricing is going to be like or really the rewards or anything like that just yet. But taking a look here, and well, it looks interesting to me. One of the big differences between a game like this and Pokemon is that this has group battles. Let me know your thoughts about the trailer in the comments below. And speaking about Pokemon, and this is more of just a friendly heads up, but we're talking about the Pokemon Company and Honda, and it appears the two companies have teamed up to produce a very interesting concept motorcycle. It's based on Koraidon, and let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I kind of hate it. I mean, some people seem to really like it, but to me this looks looks awful. That's just my own personal opinion, though. Next up, we're talking about something that I think is pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of Jackbox games, and I think they're a lot of fun to play with friends. Anyways, here, this to me makes a whole lot of sense. It appears that Jackbox Games is getting ready to be launched as a TV app for smart TVs. This news comes right from their website, and they say Jackbox Games is coming to your smart TV for free, but there will be ads. It also appears there may be a subscription fee, I guess, if you wanted to get rid of the ads moving forward, but we'll have to wait and see in terms of pricing and all of that. Either way here, I think this is a really, really smart move for Jackbox. Now, TVs are relatively underpowered, so if you're wondering how this is actually going to play on a TV, it is harnessing the power of the cloud. And I think that is the right application for a game like this. I mean, you don't have to worry about FPS, you don't have to worry about latency or really anything like that too much. This is a pretty lightweight application for something like cloud-based gaming. It's very different than a first-person shooter. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this one. Am I out in left field here? Am I off base with my line of thinking that this is a really good idea and the right application? And speaking about potentially being out in left field, next up here, we're talking about WWE 2K25. Now, VGC has a very interesting article comparing WWE 2K5 versus 2K24. And I might be in the minority on this one, but let me know your thoughts. WWE 2K24 looks better than WWE 2K25. At least I think so. I mean, we've got WWE 2K25 on the left and 24 on the right. And taking a look at the two here, the hair seems to be better in 24. And I would say the overall complexion also seems to be better. I could be wrong with that one. It's just looking through these things, I just feel that 2K24 has more life to it. Like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom, and I do recommend going through that article and taking a look at the side-by-side if you are interested in WWE stuff. Next up here, we're talking about Respawn, and it turns out that Respawn has canceled an unannounced multiplayer FPS game. And this one, I guess, is a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, we didn't really know about it. And for those who may be unaware, Respawn is the developer of Titanfall. This news came from someone who used to work at Respawn, and they posted it on LinkedIn, and they said the unannounced incubation project I was a part of for the past year was canceled this week. So I am joining the group of extremely talented and kind people in the games industry searching for a new role. I'm curious to see if in the future we will know more about this unannounced game. It sometimes seems that these unannounced and canceled games get leaked in some way, shape, or form, We've seen that time and time again, but who knows here. Next up, we're talking about a new game that has just been revealed that will be coming out later on in 2025. If you like playing as a goblin rogue or goblin thief, you may be interested in this game here. It's called Styx Blades of Greed. Now, this game will be headed to PlayStation and Xbox as well. Unfortunately, I don't have a firm release date. They just say Q4 2025, and I don't know the price. I don't see de novo listed on this page just yet. I say yes because maybe it's going to be added later. And I also don't see Steam Deck compatibility. I'm assuming that'll be added later as well. I'm assuming that this game will be Steam Deck compatible. I could be wrong about that. There are some previous games in this series with very positive review scores on Steam, and also very big discounts. Styx Master of Shadows currently has a 90% discount, and Styx Shards of Darkness has an 85% discount. Next up, this is more of just a friendly heads up, but if you're interested in watching YouTube videos and interested in arcade emulation and arcade gaming and Teknoparrot, you may be interested in this video here. Reaver is the person behind Teknoparrot, and Perfect Storm Gaming has a 37-minute long interview with them. They talk about a whole bunch of stuff in the interview, for example, where Teknoparrot started and where it's headed. They talk about light gun emulation, emulation ethics, and even more. And speaking about where stuff is headed, next up we're talking about PlayStation. If you're in the UK, it seems you can now lease a PS5, starting at $10.99 a month, and that's in pounds. And there are a few different leasing options: monthly, yearly, a 2-year program, and a 3-year program. So PlayStation has partnered with Raylo. I'm not familiar with Raylo, but if you are, let me know your thoughts about them. And this leasing is not just for a PS5. I mean, they have a PS5 Pro, PS5 Digital, and some bundles and even more stuff. You can even lease a DualSense Edge for $7.99 a month. That to me is wild. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I guess you can lease a DualSense Edge. Now, the part that I'm having trouble wrapping my head around is the fact that if you are leasing a DualSense Edge for 36 months, it's $7.49 a month. That is quite a bit. I mean, you've overpaid for this controller if you've got it for 3 years. For 24 months, it's $8.99. For 12 months, it's $14.99. And on a monthly basis, it's over $20 or 20 pounds. That to me is wild. But again, like everything we're talking about, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, because I am very interested to hear people's opinion on the matter. What do you think about leasing and how much it costs, and what do you think the value is behind it? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a bad idea? And do you think this is where the industry is headed? I mean, for a lot of games out there, we're just paying for a license to play it nowadays, and we don't necessarily own it, unless you're picking it up on something like GOG, or if the full game is included on the disc. But either way here, this to me is, well, it's one way, I guess, to spend money to play a console. Next up, we're talking about NVIDIA, and it appears that NVIDIA is planning on some more entry-level 50 series GPUs, namely the 5060 and 5050 8GB RAM versions. From my understanding, the 5050 is going to be running at about 145 watts, which puts it just under the B570. And also, from my understanding, the pricing is going to be similar, or at least competitive, with the B570 and B580. I would say the B570 and B580 are more attractive at this price point, but I could be wrong. I mean, we haven't seen performance figures yet. I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts are about an NVIDIA 5050. And last up here, we're talking about one of my favorite games in the last year or so, and that is Balatro. If you're interested in Balatro, you may want to take a look at this article here published by Local Thunk. Well, it's more of a blog post. It's a timeline of the game from inception all the way till now, and there's quite a bit of information here and quite a bit of fun information to read through. It's very interesting on how this game came to be and, well, how it's still progressing. Now, if you haven't played Balatro yet, I do recommend giving it a try, even if you don't like poker. It's a poker roguelike. I'm not a big poker fan, but at the same time here, I find this game a whole lot of fun. It's got an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam, which I think is very fitting overall. And the game itself is not priced very high. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. She's upstairs today cuddling with Mrs. Sujano. Anyways, we talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state. And I'll see you tomorrow.